Well, welcome back again. Unfortunately, things didn't go the way I'd planned. I managed to get the tone control out, but I don't know whether I broke it or it was cracked inside, but it fell to bits when I got it off the board. So this is a few days later. I went on to eBay and managed to get another pot. It's a 50k pot. But unfortunately, you know, not of the right size, so it was a little, well, a small pot, but I've managed to extend its legs and, well, fitted it in there, but you can see it's much smaller than the original. So I'm going to switch the record player back on and just see if it plays all right a minute, and see if we actually have tone control now. So it was completely open circuit before, so I'll put the mains on, let's see what happens. So then the next job is to service this deck, although it seems to be waking up a bit on its own. We had sound anyway. There we go. But I turn it up, does the tone work? Oh, it does perfectly. Well, that's great. So the next thing is this deck. So at the moment it is actually working all right to a point, but then we're in 78. Imagine if I went to 33, it might struggle a bit. I don't know. Let's see. So will it do anything on 33? Well, we have 33. Yeah, it will. So I always lubricate them. Just got to be done. I mean, old grease needs removing and new needs to be added. So anyway, the next step will be to take the turntable off and check the main cam. So first thing is remove the circlip, which I've just done. Put it somewhere safe. Remove the turntable, and you can see there's your main cam. Now the bearings are also showing there. Oops, gone a bit too close. So once you lift the main cam, remove the other circlip here at the back. You need to take the bearings out here, and sometimes it's a ball, well it is, it's a ball race in a track. So clean out the old grease. I usually spray it with IPA and then clean it out with a little brush and then stick some new grease in. It helps. I can also see that the top of the wheel, this camera doesn't want to focus, it's full of corrosion, so same thing. I'll take that off and clean that. More IPA, and the motor seems to be okay, but I will check the motor, clean the drive shaft, and yeah, the usual BSR thing really. Of course, a good check is just to see, I mean it's obviously working okay, but if you look at the cam, hang on a minute, Shame cameras can't just follow exactly what you had in mind, but they won't. This little bit at the end, I don't know if you realise how this works. On the turntable, you'll see, if I can get the turntable in, the teeth interlock on this cam, but only when the arm gets to the position where the record's going to come off. So if you watch this, it will move in. Hang on, if I can just zoom in a bit. Yeah, as I move the arm towards the end, can you see it's just pushed out? If I do that again, you watch again, you'll see. There you go. And that then engages the lift mechanism, which has all of a sudden freed up quite well, because before I couldn't turn it, and it sort of freed itself up. So the next thing to do is to take the circlip off and clean the cam up. I don't know if it would be that easy to pull it off. Sometimes they can just pull off. Oh, there you go. And then this cam just lifts off. Now, the grease doesn't look really bad. I've seen worse. Oh, this is free on this one, but there's a little ball race in that. This slides. I know I'm there again. I'm doing this and you aren't watching. Sorry, I'll go over it again. There's a little ball race in there, and that glides around this track. So basically, as I lift this, if I can zoom out, you can see the arm. As I move this, the arm will move, or it should do. It's very stiff, but it will move. So this isn't too bad at all. I've seen an awful lot worse where it's gone very gluey, but it is actually not bad at all, really. But I will clean it all off and put a little bit of new grease on, and I'll bring you back when I've done that. Also, clean this off, which is more old grease. There we are. Yeah, more old grease, but it's to be expected. This is quite old, this unit. I don't know exactly. I'm thinking late 70s, this Fidelity, but I'm not really sure. Can't remember. I do remember them coming out, and I'm pretty ancient, but I can't remember the exact year. Alright, so we'll leave it to that a second. I'll bring you back when I've cleaned and greased that cam. Okay, so I've greased up the main cam. One other thing I did do while I was over there, and I made sure this is free, which engages the mechanism, and I've cleaned it out with a bit of isopropyl. You could have taken it apart if it was a bit seized, but this one's really free and loose. I don't see the point really, because if that gums up, it will stick it in automatic, which I've had that happen before as well. One thing I will do, and this, hang on a minute, 2 seconds, I need a little bit of kitchen roll, and I will lubricate this little bearing, and I have some 3-in-1 oil. I just squirt the top of that a little bit and buzz it around a bit to make sure it's free. I've also filled this with grease at the ball race, cleaned it off with isopropyl, then filled it with grease. So the next job, I'm going to take the rubber drive wheel off and give it a good clean with some isopropyl, and just lubricate the shaft slightly, maybe with a bit of this, again this 3-in-1 type oil, or anything really that's very thin machine oil would work. So what we'll do is we'll stick that back on a minute. I'll just put that up there. So what I do is, this is easy to make it line up. Don't try and line it up over there because it goes down below the level that can see it. So put it on and move it around and it drops in. And of course its parking position is where this is. And if you don't want it to come on instantly in automatic, push them back out the way. So we'll pop the circlip on that. I did grease that shaft, a little bit sticking out the top, get rid of that. And next I'll stick the circlip on. I put it over here for safety. So sometimes you can do this by hand. It just depends. If you've got strong enough, there we are. So it's back on. That's that. So I will next be concentrating on this wheel that you can see is rather grubby. And there is something else to stop slipping, or if you have a turntable that's seeming to slip, or well, you know, a slight problem with it, is inside where the rubber wheel is running. I have used all sorts in the past because you never know what's on it. Years of rubber, clean it off. If that cleaning doesn't work, use, I know this sounds ridiculous, but it always works, a little bit of Jif to clean and roughen the surface up. You don't want that too shiny because it needs to grip. So that's a little trick I picked up over the years. So I'll bring you back when I take the rubber wheel off and I'll show you what's underneath. Okay, then I've taken off the little rubber wheel and I'm looking at the surface. It doesn't look too bad. Sorry, I'm not showing you. It seems reasonable, but I did notice that it's obviously been somewhere where there's a lot of damp, mildew. It looks like mildew on it, dampness anyway. It's gone to sleep, whatever you want to call it. While I was about it, this deck, just in case you didn't know, if you were having speed issues with this deck, I'm going to point, where's my screwdriver? I just thought I'd let you know that this screw, when you turn it clockwise or anti-clockwise, moves the whole the wheel assembly up or down, because you have 78, which is the thicker, larger part of the spline, and then you have 45 and 33. On some of the older models you also had a thinner piece which was 16. So if this isn't lining up, if I put this back on easily and show you, so there it's in 78 RPM now. So this is now lining up. If you were to move the screw, it would bring it up or down a little bit. So if it didn't line up correctly, you could turn it until it's sitting exactly right. This one seems to be set fine, but I have had to do that in the past. You can see this one's a bit slow at coming up. It's probably the mechanism's a little bit dry, so we'll lubricate it. Meanwhile, I'll stop you again and go and clean the rubber wheel up. And of course we'll have to slightly lubricate the post. I'll only put a little tiny bit of machine oil on there, very fine amount will do. Okay, so here we are. It's all nice and cleaned up now. I'm going to put a tiny little spot of this 3-in-1 on this, just a little tiny bit. You really don't need anything there. And there's a little red washer that sits underneath, so don't lose any of the washers. That goes on there. You've got a red washer then goes on the top, and there's your other circlip. This one can be awkward, don't lose it. They can go flying, so I'm going to try and do it without a pliers by forcing it, but there you are. You see, I've done this before. So that's basically it for the top. I'm going to put the turntable on and then take the deck out so we can have a look underneath. So where's it? What did I do with the turntable? Oh, here we are. Sorry. We'll obviously clean all this up later, but hopefully it's going to go on. There we are. So there's the turntable. I will just get the circlip. Right, and the circlip might be easy to go on, it might not. You never can tell. I've been lucky so far, but I don't know about this one. I might have to cheat. There we are. So there's your circlip. Easier if I had the deck in stop to put the turntable on. There you go. So it's seeming to be nicely free running. There is one other thing, it's this. It's not all that free running, so what I'll do in a minute is polish this up, this chrome bit, so it slides up and down nicely. Might put a little bit of, I've got some, well, sort of silicone lubricant, a little tiny thin amount on there, just so it goes up and down nice. Okay, so to get the deck out on this one, I just plop that back there temporarily, and I'll just bring you down. There we are. So you pull that out. Now I will show you when the deck is out, but this is just on the Fidelity, but you have to reach your hand in and do a little flick. And over here, the same thing this side, which is easier to get to. And now you can lift the deck out, but hopefully, I say you can lift the deck out. I might not have got it quite right. Hang on. I think something's holding it. Hang on a second. We'll see what's happening in a minute. I'll just stop you a second while I get the hammer out. Yeah, I was just joking, not really. What it is, to release these decks, there's a clip. There's your clip. And you have to push them down so they're like that. The problem is the holes on this one, it just depends how well the holes line up, and this one, it's not cut out too brilliantly and it was catching on the sides, so I had to give it a bit of a yank. But anyway, it's out now. That's how they work. You can flick them. Don't try and do it unless it's you know, unscrewed and not in transit mode. It won't work unless it's obviously the screws are screwed right down. It won't give you clearance. So anyway, the mechanism for the speed is very simple. We'll just show you. Just zoom in. Can we get a bit closer? Yeah. Okay. So this is it really. can you see it rolls on a little track? It's very simple. The speed control is here, and it's like a little worm drive. If I can bring you over this side a minute, if possible, try and bring you over. Thing is, we haven't got a lot of space here to bring you over, but hang on, up a bit. Tripods are always a bit awkward, aren't they? Here we are. But can you see that this part goes up on a lobe and there's more than one position? It's where the different speeds are marked out, and it slides up and down on this shaft. So I'm going to lubricate this shaft, and I might put a little tiny bit of silicone grease on this, because this does tend to seize a bit, but you can see how it works if I do that. It's all quite clever really. But as I was saying to a friend who popped round earlier on, there's very little plastic, or he was saying to me it looks like there's very little plastic in a BSR deck, which the earlier ones was almost zero, but the later ones did have a little bit, but there is a bit over there. Yeah, over the top there. But no, they're pretty good and pretty simple to work on really, once you get the general gist of it. The other thing that can seize, and this one was alright, but the other one I worked on wasn't, was if we get in here, this, believe it or not, this mechanism, that works the record drop spindle in the centre of the turntable, and on the other deck it was seized solid and wouldn't move, and then when it come to try and go through its cycle, it would just jam. Don't ever force them round, because you can bend something and damage it. And I've had decks that have been bent that I've had to go around and try and work out why they're bent, what's wrong with them. But so what I'll do, it's a very simple thing really, is if I zoom out a bit, all of this mechanism, wherever you see it moves, just check to see if there's a tiny bit of grease, but don't ever overdo any greasing or lubrication. You know, just a mild amount, a little goes a long way, as they say. Also the motor, you can, with this type of thing, you know, with the nozzle on, you can squirt up onto the bearings or into the bearings. If you wanted to go to town, I'm not going to on this because this is just a get it working job. You can take the motor out, it's held on by circlips, and they're on rubber mounts normally. The rubber mounts are good on this motor. You can strip this motor simply, really just unscrew it. It's only sort of bolted together, and you can get to the bearings, so you could put a bit of lubricant in. They very rarely seize up, these newer ones, even the older ones actually, but they do like a little bit of lubrication. So a little squirt in there and a squirt down through the top, but make sure you don't get it on the drive spindle, or else you'll get it on your rubber wheel. And obviously do that when you've finished, and only the lightest amount, or else when if or when you turn it over, you're going to get that oil run down on that spindle and muck up your rubber wheel. So all I'm going to do really is lubricate this shaft a little bit. I'll get some grease and just pull the spring up, put a little bit of grease on that shaft. So hang on a minute and I'll bring you back. So I've lubricated that shaft, and I have a little bit of this, it's silicone maintenance spray. It's good for nylon and rubber as well, but a little squirt and wipe up any excess. I'll actually do it around there where your reject auto change controls are and the speed control goes, just to make it a little bit smoother. That's made a lot of difference already. Work it around a little bit, and there you are. Now I'll spare you the other details. It's basically anywhere you can see was previously greased, clean the old grease off, and like over here, can you see it there? Up around here. So I'm going to clean all that off and put a very light amount, because it just runs on a little tiny bit of a track there. There's not much there. This is your record control arm where it comes through. So I might spray that a little bit there with a bit of this silicone lubricant. That will help it, and then I will polish it. So there we are, just a little bit of that. And I'll polish it so it drops smoothly. And that's about it really. I will do the motor, but I won't do it in this position. I'll hold it up in the other position so there's less chance the oil goes down through and onto the drive shaft. But there you go. And then we'll reassemble the whole thing, and the whole record player then needs a good clean, because it is filthy and it absolutely stinks of mothballs. So I will pause you there and bring you back once we're the right way round again. Right, so we're the right way round, and we're basically assembled, apart from there's a screw each side to go back in, which I haven't bothered with yet. I just dropped it in place. And we're now going to just see if the deck works fine. I'll bring you a bit closer. And a bit down, there we are, so you can see the whole thing. Turn the volume up a bit, or turn it, I should say turn it on. There we are. So let's see what happens. I put a new stylus in, but it came as one of these weird styluses. I'll just show you. The cartridge is a genuine BSR cartridge in this, but the stylus, I'm not sure I've got the right one here. It seems to fit, and it plays alright, or it did earlier on. I might get the correct one, but oh, there you go. Maybe it is no use. Hang on a second, I'll get another stylus. Okay, so I've just dropped another one in. This is a proper BSR one. It is actually a brand new stylus, but I've taken it out of another bit of equipment I've got here, so it can't stay in there. I'll have to order this one, a new one, and we'll see what happens. I'm not sure that well, it should play fine. Hang on, just get you in the right place, but we'll see. Is it going to drop and work all right? Yes, it is. To the end of the record, see if it comes off all right. And our new tiny tone control's working fine. So the moment of truth, there it goes. So it's fine. I say it's fine. If it's fine on 78, it'll be fine on the other sizes. BSRs are generally reliable. The only time they play up is if they're not used, stored somewhere, and that grease goes to sleep or sets hard like glue. So what I'll do is I'll bring you back later after I've given the thing a really good clean and removed some of the cobwebs. It has a few of those. And before I put the main screws in the front, I'm going to hoover the interior out a bit because it's quite grubby, and then the owner can have it back. But I will play a record on it before it goes, and I'll show you what it cleaned up like. But I think it's going to clean up really well. Well, it's all finished. It's looking quite nice. I'll bring you a bit closer so you can see the deck a bit better, but it did really clean up well. I'm so pleased with it. Like most of these suitcases, if they're shut up, usually the cover's shut on them and they're stored somewhere. Maybe this one didn't get as damp as it could have got, but I know some of them I've opened the cover and they've gone rusty inside. This one, I couldn't really see, sorry, I'm nudging the camera there, I couldn't see any real bad damage on the deck anywhere. It looked very tidy. This tripod doesn't want to move. No, it's all good. All cobwebs removed and it shined up really well. So I'll put a record on and show you that it's working fine. We'll put this one on top of Old Smokey, Percy Faith and his orchestra. See how it goes. Turn the volume up. On top of Old Smokey, all covered with snow, I lost my true lover from a courting too slow. 4 cordons of pleasure and parting is grief, and a false-hearted lover is worse than a thief. A thief will just rob you. A thief will just rob you. And take what you say. And take what you say. But a false-hearted lover. But a false-hearted lover will lead you to your grave. Will lead you to your grave. And the grave will decay you. And the grave will decay. And turn you to dust. And turn you to dust. Not one girl in 50. Not one girl in 50. That a poor boy can trust. That a poor boy can trust. They'll hug you and kiss you. They'll hug you and kiss you. And tell you more lies. Tell you more lies. And the cross ties on the railroad. And cross ties on the railroad. Or the stars in the sky. Or stars in the sky. Well, there you are, all fixed. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. I mean, I don't get a lot of subscribers. I just like doing videos, really. If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, don't worry about it. If you just like watching them, just watch them. I'm not too fussed. I'll still carry on making them. Take care. Thank you. Bye now.